Now, a Chinese ban on Australian rock lobster imports is causing grave fears for the $500 million industry here. Prices have fallen by as much as 60% since the ban was announced. But so far, it's unclear exactly what's prompted China's ban. For more, Dr. Gary Morgan is the chairman of Wildcatch Fisheries, and he joins us now from the ABC's Adelaide newsroom. Gary Morgan, good morning. Would you like to speculate on just why China might have imposed this ban?
Well, good morning, Michael. Well, first of all, we have to be careful using the word ban. So far as I'm aware, there is no official ban by the Chinese government on Australian rock lobsters. There's certainly some trade impediment at the moment, which we're trying to get to the bottom of.
Why is there that trade impediment?
There's an accumulation of product, and don't forget these are live rock lobsters at the entry point, which is Hong Kong. The product goes from Australia to Hong Kong and then into China. And there is some issue with the distribution channels that's causing the product to accumulate, and as a result of that, the processors in Australia have product in their facilities around the country, and fishermen are not fishing because they have got nowhere to put their rock lobsters.
Have you heard on the grapevine from within China? Is there any unhappiness with our product, or are there any other reasons why those hurdles could be overcome and our rock lobsters could be accepted? Because as far as we understand, the Chinese are still accepting imports of both South African and New Zealand rock lobsters.
That's right. Australia at the moment doesn't have a free trade agreement with China, whereas New Zealand and South Africa do. And I'm assuming that they, because they have these free trade agreements, their access directly into China is a little easier at the moment than what Australian rock lobsters are. I think it does highlight the point, however, for the Australian industry that being almost entirely reliant on one market is something that we need to address, and we need to diversify our markets to provide insurance against these hiccups. These issues have happened in China in the past, and they tend to be resolved quietly after a week or so, and I'm confident that this will be resolved also within a fairly short time.
What action diplomatically would you like the federal government to be taking on that front?
The federal government has been very supportive. At the moment, they're seeking information from the embassy in China. They're also seeking information through other channels, but they are as much in the dark about it as we are at the moment, about exactly what is the problem.
And Gary Morgan, what impact is this having on the local industry?
As you mentioned, prices have dropped dramatically. The rock lobster processors have their factories full. Don't forget, these are live rock lobsters and they're kept in holding tanks, so those facilities are full, and as a result the fishermen, particularly in Tasmania, South Australia and Victoria, are not able to fish and land their product. It's quite an issue because this is the peak catching season for southern rock lobsters in those three states.
If this isn't resolved, could the loss in China be Australian rock lobster lovers' gain, in the sense that prices here could fall?
If they do fall in Australia, it would only be the clearing of the product that's currently on hold here in Australia. It is not worthwhile lobster fishermen going fishing at anything less than about $30 a kilo. So if it does go on, the impact will be that there won't be any lobsters landed in Australia.
Gary Morgan, thanks very much for your time this morning.
My pleasure.